Hey, what's up, guys? So I'm just gonna get right into this Q&A. Not much of an intro needed. Gage is here. He's gonna read me the questions, and we're just gonna get started. Some of them are pretty repetitive, and those didn't get all filtered out. So if there's some repetitive ones, I'll just maybe skip over them, or maybe I'll just I don't know, whatever. Okay, let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Do you want a boy or a girl?
A boy. We actually know that we're having a boy already. We did an early gender DNA test. You can get it done as early as 9 weeks pregnant. It's like a do it at home. It's called Sneak Peek. It's available in Canada also. It's like you prick your finger and get a drop of blood. You send it back to this lab, and they try and look for a male chromosome, and they found one. So we did that at 9 weeks pregnant, and this weekend I'll be 18 weeks pregnant, and we're gonna go for or next weekend, yeah, this coming weekend. So we're gonna go for the anatomy scan and confirm that. It's only like, well, it's like 98, 99% accurate. So there's still a chance that it could not be a boy, but we wanted a boy, and yeah, we got one. So
Do you have any names picked out? Or are you going to pick a G name?
yes, we're gonna pick a G name, but that's all we're gonna disclose at this time.
In the future, would you consider doing a post including advice from seasoned moms?
To be honest, probably not. I don't really like getting advice from a lot of people. I mean, I want to get advice from the kind of people who like share the same style of parenting that I'm interested in, or like women from like my breastfeeding support group, or women who have worked with midwives, stuff like that, who like are believe in like attachment parenting and co-sleeping and baby wearing and stuff. So I'm not really interested in just getting a bunch of random advice from a bunch of mothers. There might be a few good things that like I want to like do out of there, but I'd rather just kind of go on this experience on my own and like, yeah, not get too much input from other people.
What are you two most excited about in regards to the baby's arrival?
Look at this little cat, so little. Um, what I am most excited about would definitely have to be just seeing Gage with him. And I'm really excited about that. Yeah, just seeing Gage meet his child, and just seeing him hold the little baby on his bare chest, and yeah, I'm really excited about that. And you? You want to answer it?
I guess I'm supposed to say seeing you with child.
No.
But I'm actually more excited to catch it.
Gage is excited to catch the baby. And yeah, yeah. I've been like seeing like a lot of like home birth pictures and stuff, and of like women catching their own babies, and I think that is like probably would be like the most empowering thing ever. And maybe for like baby number 2, I'll catch my own baby, but Gage is gonna catch this one.
Baby number 2.
Maybe baby number 2 one day. Next.
What do you think your parenting styles will be?
Oh, and just to reiterate on the home birth thing, there was no questions in here because I did talk about it on my social media, but so yeah, we have decided to have a home birth, which is something like super common from both of our families, that my mom has had home birth, Gage's mom has had home birth and worked with midwives, and so it's like really normal to us, and that's just kind of what you do, and that's like in my eyes the best thing for me. And so I mean, I could go on and on about it, but if you guys are interested in like knowing more about it, you could watch this free documentary on YouTube called The Business of Being Born. And yeah, so what was the next question?
What do you think your parenting styles would be like?
Parenting styles, I really haven't imagined too much of like once the child is like 4 or 5 years old, starting to go to school, starting to grow up a bit. But right now I'm just thinking of like the first couple of years, or right now I'm thinking of like the first month. And I think we've decided to co-sleep, exclusively breastfeed, pretty much. Yeah, like to wear the baby, like for me to wear him or maybe her. And yeah, so I'm interested in attachment parenting, and I know that's a term used, but just yeah, like that's what I'm thinking of right now is like those like early baby years, and I'm not really thinking too much ahead of that. So right now I'm trying to like educate myself on different stuff that has to do with that.
When are you due? How far along are you?
I'm 17 weeks, 17 and a half weeks, and I'm due November 11th.
Since becoming pregnant, have you become more emotional or sensitive? Yes.
He answered that one. Yes. Yeah, sometimes I just am super sad and I have to cry. Sometimes I'm really irritable, and I've found my tolerance for other people's bullshit to be very low right now. Like even people who I would normally love to listen to vent, like I just can't and I don't want to, and I feel like I don't care, and I just feel really selfish and like don't care at all, you know, unless it's something that has to do with like my husband or I or this pregnancy or like immediately like one of our jobs. Like I'm just like pretty into my little family dynamic right now, and everything else has been pretty irritating to me. But yes, definitely more emotional, like yeah, a lot. Next.
What are your cravings?
My cravings, I've been craving a ton of raw fruits and vegetables, which is something, I mean, I like fruits and veggies, but I would never buy fruit ever. Like maybe bananas once in a while, but I've been eating a ton of raw fruits and vegetables. I've been craving, for a while, like I did crave pickles, very typical, but I've always liked pickles, but I was eating like a lot of pickles for a while. Tomato soup, which is something I haven't had since I was like a kid. I've been eating a lot of Campbell's tomato soup, you know, made with milk, not water, obviously. Cravings. What do you think? Yeah, my taste buds changed really dramatically. Like overnight, around 6.5 weeks pregnant, I started getting really sick, and I think there's some questions about that later, so I'll just wait. But yeah, I crave like, well, I guess that pretty much sums it up right now. Like, actually, the cravings were a lot stronger, and I have them written down. Where's that little green notebook? Is it around here? I don't know where it is right now. But I was writing down all my cravings actually, so maybe I should grab that. Can you grab that for me? Okay, so let's see quickly the cravings. I was like pretty good at like journaling. Perfect. Okay, this was at 6 weeks. Foods I can picture eating because I wasn't able to eat much. I mean, except for the stuff on this list. Oh yeah, and I did make a lot of this stuff. Shepherd's pie, English muffins with butter, toasted tomato sandwiches on bagels, Granny Smith apples, chili, French fries with vinegar and ketchup, vegetable soup. Oh yes, lots of vegetable soup whenever I was first sick. Lemonade and orange juice. I went through this phase when I started getting sick that I couldn't even drink water. Like it had to be something citrus. I had to like fill water bottles with orange juice. I was drinking orange juice all the time, and now I don't want to drink any orange juice. Carne asada burritos, McDonald's breakfast burritos, Ritz crackers, spaghetti with pasta sauce and nothing else, just tomato sauce. Plain bagels toasted with butter. Anyway, so that, and I continue to do that, like, but anyways, there. That definitely answered that question.
After the baby, do you still plan to focus a lot of time on fitness and coaching?
Yeah. I wouldn't really say focus a lot of time on fitness. Fitness hasn't really been a huge focus of mine in the last couple of years since I've been competing in powerlifting. I mean, yeah, I own a gym and I run meets and stuff, so powerlifting, you know, is my job. But so yes, I will continue to coach. Yeah, it's gonna be hectic. So I'm really glad with the way I have it set up right now. Even the people that work out under me in my gym, I still train them as if they're remote clients. So I don't have to be anywhere at a certain time. I can do everything from my own home, and it doesn't take me very long, and I don't have like a set time where I have to do it. Like after the baby comes, like, and I'm sure it'll be a struggle to get 30 minutes of downtime. I'll be able to like do anyways. But I'll also have a lot of help in the beginning from people at Paxters who are more seasoned, and who take over for me now whenever Gage and I just went on like a baby moon to Hawaii a couple weeks ago, and we had a Paxter take over. Anyway, so I'll have lots of help, but yes, I'm still gonna be doing that. That's my main source of income.
What's the one thing you miss most that you can't do or have like while being pregnant?
Definitely vaping. I have been using nicotine products since I was like 12 years old, and I'm almost 30, so, or maybe 11 years old. I smoked cigarettes for like probably 15 years. I dipped for probably about 4 years, and then I vaped for a year or two. And so I waited until the day I found out I was pregnant to stop. Like, it was hard, but I haven't, I haven't relapsed, but I do miss it. So someday it was really hard in the beginning, and now it's only like every couple weeks I'm just like, oh my God, people say like you can't eat this and you can't eat that when you're pregnant, but I just eat whatever I want. So I eat sushi, I eat lunch meat, and yeah, I'm not super worried about getting sick or anything like that.
How did you guys find out you were pregnant? Was it planned?
Why don't you answer this one, Gage?
Well, she took a pregnancy test, and then she called me, told me she was pregnant, and yeah, it was planned.
Yeah, it was planned. I don't know if you guys can hear Gage, but yeah, it was planned, and I waited until like the first day I missed my period. I did a pregnancy test the next day, and Gage was driving back from 29 Palms, and I didn't want to wait till he got here. I was like, it needs to be the first pee of the morning, like the most potent. So I did it and I called him right afterwards. We were super excited. So I found out whenever I was 4 weeks, 3 days, or 4 weeks, 1 day, 2 days, something like that. It's funny how they calculate it, even though it's really like 2 weeks less than that. But
previous vlogs, you said you didn't want kids. What changed your mind?
Well, it was Christmas time this year, and yeah, I never did want kids until I met Gage. It was our wedding rehearsal dinner whenever his little sister was sitting on my lap, and she was very tiny at the time, like maybe, I don't know, 7 years old or so, but a small 7-year-old. And Gage, he looked at me and said, "You look pretty good with a kid on your lap." And something happened inside of my body that I can't explain. Like, the feeling I got, I can't explain it. I was just like, wow. I realized at that very second that like the only other thing, like, after marrying him, that like I could do, like, to show him how much, I'll just say it however I'm thinking it, like, to show him how much I loved him would be, to have his child. And the thought of having his child made me so happy. So yeah, so we always kind of knew that we would, but just didn't know when. And then it was Christmas time. This past Christmas, we were at Gage's grandparents around Christmas Eve or the day before, and there was his grandparents and then Gage's parents with like, there was tons of kids and grandkids and just little kids and babies running around everywhere. There was like probably like 40 people there, and I realized like, wow, like I was looking around, and Nana and Papa, his grandparents, like they have all this, because like they have kids. Like, if we don't have kids, then like we could have all of this, like family and like all these people like coming, to us, and it was a pretty big like realization that made me feel like if I don't have kids, I'm missing out on probably the best things in life. And so it was like on the drive home that I was like, Gage, I think we should like start trying right now. And yeah, I had an IUD. That's what I was using for birth control for like the last couple of years. So I made an appointment like the next day, and I got it taken out a few days later. And then we started trying right away. And there's questions about that later, so I'll save it. But Gage is young, and I was like, are you sure, like that you want to like give up like sleeping in on weekends? And I mean, basically all your freedom.
Yeah,
Like,
but I knew that you're getting up there in the years and your fertility is going to drop drastically after 30.
shut up. Anyways, I'm really excited.
How are you adjusting to your body changing after being so jacked for so long?
Well, I haven't been that jacked for like the last 2 years, so it wasn't anything drastic to me, at all. I mean, the worst is yet to come, though. No, like my body has changed a lot. Like I can't wear like regular clothes. I'm wearing like maternity, like pants and shorts and shit like that now. And yeah, I've gained almost 10 pounds. And so, how am I coping with it? I mean, yeah, it's just like fine. Because I haven't been that muscular for a while now, like I said, so it wasn't crazy. But and I know that I have to gain like a good amount of weight, like the right amount of weight, like to support healthy breastfeeding. So, like when I see like the cellulite on my legs and on the back of my legs and my ass, like I'm not freaking out at all. I know that it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. He says it's fine too.
Have you thought about seeing and working with a pelvic floor physical therapist during your pregnancy and postpartum?
I have some friends that are pregnant right now, and I haven't thought of it for myself. We are going to like some workshops and stuff that different like specialists are holding through my midwife's office that talk a lot about that. We're going to one next weekend actually that talk about like recovery and I forget what it's called. Recti diastasis something where your abs split, so just like being mindful of yeah, my stomach and the baby and getting up and getting down and kind of what exercises not to do, what to do, and so yeah, I'm probably not going to be working with anybody hands-on unless afterwards like I really need to, but I'm aware all that info's out there and I'm getting my hands on it.
Will you do a labor vlog?
No. I mean, I'm sure like we'll film it or there'll be some videos and pictures for ourselves, like maybe like I'll ask my doula to like film, like I want a video of my husband catching my baby, that's for sure, but I'm definitely not gonna be posting it on here. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I've watched, I really like listening to birth stories, home birth stories, or just any kind of like unmedicated birth stories. And I think that has helped me like really get rid of a lot of, to not have fear, because I've never had fear about birth. Like the only thing I'm afraid of is like ending up in a hospital, God forbid. And but yeah, I really like listening to those stories, and anytime it's like I start the YouTube video and then it ends up being like a laborer vlog, I skip it. I don't want to see that. I really like seeing like, not because I'm grossed out or anything, it's really like emotional. Like fuck, it's emotional enough like just to hear these stories or see some pictures, but yeah, I don't want to like have this image of like somebody else's birth in my head, like when I imagine like my own, yeah, anyways.
Are you going to make pills for the placenta?
Maybe. I mean, probably. It's only like $200. Maybe like I will use them. Maybe I won't. But I mean, if it's like our midwife does it, and it's like $200. So, I have not yet researched it, but I know a lot of people who swear by it. Like say that is the fastest thing that'll heal you physically after giving birth is taking encapsulated placenta pills. So yeah, for those of you who don't know, it's called placenta encapsulation, and they take the placenta and I think they dry it out and put it in capsules, and you take it. But I've also heard like my adopted mother is a midwife, and I've also heard that I have to talk to her more about it, but she has mentioned stuff like how it could have like postpartum effects, like kind of reverse, because like you're putting the placenta back in your body, so your body's kind of like recognizing it almost as if like you're still in pregnancy mode. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I haven't done research on it yet, but yeah, I mean, the route we're going, fuck, I'll probably do it.
Does your training feel any different than before you were pregnant?
Yes.
Did you train through morning sickness?
Yes.
How long can you train while pregnant?
Well, I was going to talk about the morning sickness, because from 6.5 weeks, like it was just like all of a sudden one day I got up and I couldn't eat the eggs. This thought of frying an egg in a pan, because I always have eggs over easy with a bunch of shit in the morning. And by a bunch of shit I mean like spinach, mushrooms, onions, sweet potato. Like that's what I'm eating now. And anyways, so just the thought of like a fried egg, like the grease on an egg, like even just from like the olive oil, like non-stick spray, it would turn my stomach. Like the only way I could eat an egg would be to poach it. It was all day, nausea all day. If I let myself get hungry, it was like 100 times worse. So I was like constantly eating, and the only things I wanted to eat was stuff on that list. Well, it was basically carbs. I had, no desire to eat meat. Just the thought of eating meat, like I have like a meal prep service. I couldn't even look at those meals. But yeah, that went on for probably 7 weeks, which felt like a lot longer. There was never actual vomiting, maybe once, like where like anything actually came up, but like mostly just like dry heaving, sometimes bile, like puking up bile, but a lot of dry heaving, a lot of just nausea all the time. And couldn't even drink water. It was like just orange juice, lemonade, stuff like that. But yeah, I did train through it. I knew that either I was gonna fucking feel like, shit on the couch, or I was gonna run and feel like shit. And I'm so fucking glad I continued to train. I did cardio almost every weekday, even while I was sick. And I'm so glad. Like, and my sister would be constantly telling me like, make sure to rest and blah, blah, blah. And I was resting a lot too, but it was like for like 30-40 minutes, I could do something, and I could really move, and I felt so much better afterwards, like about myself. Yeah, sorry my camera cut off, but I'm really glad. The effects that the training had on me while I was sick, like it helped me with like the body changing stuff and all that shit. So I continued to mostly do cardio, not really much of anything else, but run like 3 miles at a time, swim 1,500 meters at a time. What else was I doing? Oh, I was also rowing 10K once a week, and then later on I got sick of that and I would do like 5K. What else was I doing?
Stairmaster?
Yeah, I just started doing Stairmaster, but anyways, yes. I continued to train through the morning sickness, and it lasted until I was probably 12 and a half, 13 weeks. And then it was kind of like overnight, like I could start eating these things and started lifting again, and I did lift during that time, but not a lot.
How long do you plan on training, and how has your training changed?
Well, my training has changed, honestly, not a whole lot since before I got pregnant, because I wasn't doing a lot of powerlifting for the last couple of years, especially not in the last year. I was more focused on running and swimming and stuff this last year, and I would just kind of hop in with my clients or like with the pack at the gym and do what they were doing once in a while, like at least for the main movement, and do like 1 or 2 accessories. My training hasn't changed. It's mostly just like focus on cardio. That's like the main goal, and then whatever else is a bonus, any kind of lifting or accessories. And I am trying to do like a lot more accessories now. Sorry, what was the next question? Where's 2?
How long are you gonna train?
I'm gonna train as long as I can. I'm sure I've heard that swimming is like one of the best things you can do while pregnant, so I'm sure I'll be able to like swim right until I deliver. Running has become uncomfortable just because I have to pee all the time. So I'm doing more like I haven't ran at all this week. I've been doing Stairmaster and Airdyne or assault bike, a little bit of rowing, stuff like that. And but yeah, I'm sure everything will be fine. I'm sure I'll be able to find some form of training to continue doing the entire time.
What are your plans after giving birth? Will you compete again?
No, I don't think I'll compete again, because to me the point in competing is like to do better than the last one, to like to continue like increasing your total, and I've never planned on taking steroids again, so the chances of me increasing my total naturally are, not the kind of work I want to put into it, so no, I don't plan on competing again. But who knows, maybe raw with sleeves, drug tested. Just kidding, I would never do anything drug tested.
What are your plans after giving birth?
What are my plans? Probably gonna try and stay home for like a month and not leave the house. For real though. That's pretty much all I have planned right now.
Do you still use a lifting belt? Are you still bench pressing?
I'm still benching, yeah, and I'm still using a belt for squats. It hasn't like become uncomfortable yet, but I'm not really doing anything heavy enough that I need a belt. I do like wearing a belt for squats, but the other stuff I haven't been wearing a belt. And benching, I did find it actually a little bit uncomfortable the other day just because of my arch and how far back my feet are. Like it really stretched my stomach, so then the last time I benched, I was just doing like much lighter weight for higher reps, like sets of 10, and I brought my feet a lot more forward, so I wasn't so stretched out. It's more comfortable. So I'm just finding little ways to adjust it. Next.
How do you tackle diet plan while pregnant?
Well, they say that the most important thing is protein. That's what my midwives have told me. And that the rest of the stuff, yeah, it's important to iron and stuff, but like your body will store that. So if you're not getting enough of it, like in the first trimester, it's not the end of the world as long as you're getting enough protein, which I probably wasn't, but I was so sick that it was just kind of like a survival, like whatever I could eat, I ate. But now that that's over, how I tackle diet, well, I pretty much just eat whatever I want, and I'm used to eating pretty good food. Like I have meal prep. I get 10 meals a week from Simply G Meals. They're like ground beef and rice, ground turkey and rice, and I make eggs in the morning, and then I have like, you know, like a granola like with fresh fruit and yogurt as a snack, and then I don't know, something else later as a snack, maybe a bowl of cereal at night or something. So I'm just trying to eat the way I always have. Yeah. And I mean, I was really, really hungry in the first trimester, like super fucking hungry. And this is while I was sick, you know, like I had to eat a lot, but it could only be certain foods. So, and I did that, you know, I wasn't eating like fucking ice cream every day, but I was eating like a ton of carbs. I had to think that answered the question, Gage.
Did you have any problems conceiving? As in, was there anything in particular that you needed to take into consideration to get pregnant?
No, we didn't have any problems. We got pregnant the second month of trying. Super lucky.
A lot of these questions are just the same.
Yeah.
How long did it take for your cycle to return after your last use?
It took. I hope you guys are able to hear the questions, by the way. Anyways, I'll fix it on my end if you can. God, I don't remember. It was a long time. It was probably like 6 months before I got my period after I stopped using steroids. So yeah. So I last used steroids 2 years ago. So by the time like we were, you know, trying to conceive, had a regular period for a long time. But still, I was consider myself extremely lucky that I got pregnant so fast. Everybody told me, oh, it's not a big deal. You'll probably be trying for like at least 6 months. You know, don't freak out. And I was like, challenge accepted. It was very planned though. Like every month, like using ovulation strips, and it was hard, you know, because Gage was stationed 3 hours from here in fucking buttfuck nowhere. So whenever I was ovulating, like I had to change my plans at the last minute. It's not always the same as, you know, what the app on your phone tells you. Like, so those strips helped a lot. And they tell you like when you're getting close to ovulating, and then like the day you're ovulating. So that really helped a lot.
Would you allow your kid to take drugs or steroids?
Hell fucking no. Hell fucking no. Alright, so there's just a section here, steroids and conception. A lot of the questions were repetitive, so I was going to link people to my other steroid Q&As, but I'm just going to go ahead and answer this shit here now because you might... anyways. Yeah, because I told people they could ask whatever. So, did you take growth hormones or really steroids? Reasons for using. I have taken growth hormone briefly, a very long time ago, about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, and I don't think long enough to actually see benefits from it. I think that's something that you need to stay on for like, I don't know, probably 5-6 months to see it work. Yeah, I took real steroids. Reasons for using, get stronger. Okay, and aesthetically. Okay, how long were you off? I told you guys I was off for 2 years. Did you have any issues with the pregnancy sticking? No, this is the first time I've ever gotten pregnant in my entire life. I'm almost 30, so I've never been pregnant before. And yeah. Did you have any problems conceiving? No, we didn't take anything. And also, whenever I stopped taking steroids, I never took PCT. I just went off of everything. And I didn't need any assistance or any help conceiving. Has your previous use of test affected the pregnancy and getting pregnant anyway? Like I said, no. Like, so the steroids, I guess, did not affect me permanently in that way at all. What are the benefits of using steroids? Well, come on, there. My camera's like an eye. You can use Google. Yes. Was it easy to get pregnant? Yes, I would say it was. Even though it felt like fucking forever and it was super heartbreaking after the first month when I wasn't pregnant, the second month I was. So I would say that is very easy. And that's pretty much. What kind of stacks did you run and for how long? I took steroids on and off, well, mostly on, for probably 7-8 years. Maybe 7 years. Yeah, 7 years. And what kind of stacks did I run? The last one that I was on for a long time, other than like a very high dose of Anavar all the time, it was Deca. I think that's all I took. Anavar and Deca at the end for the last year or two. Before that, I'd taken EQ, Primo, and as far as stacks, I'd usually only take like one injectable plus the Anavar. I have taken test before, test probe, not recommended at all. Hey guys, so a little part 2. We missed some questions last night, so I thought I'd add them in. Excuse me. Whenever Gage was reading them, he thought that they were like too similar to the other ones I was answering, but I feel like I needed to come back and answer a couple more of these. Sorry, I got a cold. Okay, so did you adjust your training when you found out? No, I didn't adjust my training. I just continued to do, you know, what I was doing until stuff became uncomfortable. Like, what became uncomfortable? Well, now, like I talked a little bit about running. It's becoming uncomfortable. There was other things like training abs that didn't feel the same. Not as soon as I found out, but a little bit afterwards. And also now that I'm more aware of that, like, of how you're supposed to get up and, you know, sit down and brace properly and not jackknife your body, not do, you know, exercises lying down or like, you know, V-ups and stuff like that. So I'm more mindful of that. Did you keep training the same until real physical changes started happening? Yeah, I guess. What are your limitations and anything to watch out for while training? Well, I mean, so obviously it's my first pregnancy. I'm not very far along. I don't have much experience yet, but as you know, as far as it's been now, there haven't been many limitations, except for the things that I just mentioned. Stuff to watch out for would be, I forget exactly what it's called, but it's something like early onset labor, something like that, where my midwives told me to watch out for like cramping while I'm training and any like cramps in my lower abdominal area to shut it down. How do you train? How does the body respond to the load, and how do you choose your program now? Well, like I said yesterday, I'm mostly focused on cardio first, and then like whatever energy I have left. Not really energy, but like whatever motivation I have left, then I'll like move on to weights and try and do as many accessories as I can. Okay, it says, can you go into the depth and do's and don'ts about the do's and don'ts about lifting while pregnant? Well, not really, because I'm so like inexperienced at it, I would say. And some things to remember for a quick bounce back. Again, I've never, you know, been there, so I don't have much to say about that, except for I'm sure like the healthier you are and the more in shape you are, the quicker you're gonna bounce back, and the easier birth. Hey, and how long will you, or did you use pre-workout while pregnant? I stopped as soon as I didn't use it super regularly, but I did once in a while, and I stopped whenever whenever I found out I was pregnant. Just like I stopped drinking 5 cups of coffee a day. I drink like 1 cup of coffee a day now. All right, that's pretty much that. Did you have any symptoms super early on whenever you found out you were pregnant? Yeah, my boobs were sore and my nipples were sensitive before I found out. That was, and then obviously the sickness that started a couple weeks after I found out, which I talked about last night. Are you going to wear your baby? Yes, absolutely. I'm really interested in baby wearing and wraps. I've already got a couple wraps. This really nice, beautiful woven wrap that I got from my friend Erin Katz, and then my sister got me like another wrap for newborns, and then I have like a sling ring to go in the pool. So I've already got like a little collection going, and I'm sure I'll be one of those crazy wrap ladies. And I'm super excited to like start learning how to use them, which I'll get on pretty soon. Have you always dreamed of being a mother, and was it planned? No, I never ever wanted kids. I always just thought that's what my reality was, and it was until I met my husband that all changed. And yeah, it was planned, like I said last night. From another mother with morning sickness and food aversions. I'm not able to eat meat right now. Can I do something with supplements? Probably talk to your healthcare provider about that. I'm not sure. I don't take any kind of supplements right now. Like I wouldn't take, well actually I have taken protein. Like I've made smoothies with protein. Not super regularly, but I'm sure it would be okay, you know, if you have like a really good quality one. I don't know. So yeah, I guess you talk to a nutritionist or somebody who knew more about that. But I didn't supplement anything. I couldn't really eat meat either. I would just try and eat eggs like however I could stomach them, and what else? I ate cottage cheese on top of spaghetti. That was like one source of protein. What else? I don't really remember what else, but I wasn't eating a lot of protein, and I wasn't too worried about like supplementing it. So doctors say you can nurse post-breast augmentation. Do you plan on nursing? Yes, I do, and yeah, I've heard that as well, that it doesn't affect breastfeeding at all, having implants. I mean, maybe if you had them like through the nipple, which I didn't. I had them under the breast. So yeah, and somebody else asked the question, I don't have it written down here, but I saw it yesterday. If I had support, how long I plan to breastfeed for, if I have support near me. Yeah, I do have a lot of support. I'm actually, as soon as I'm done filming this, like in a second, I'm going to my first breastfeeding support group. It's at the midwife place, and I mean, it's free. It's so, well, it's part of like, you know, the service of working with the midwives that I'm paying for. So I'm like, fuck it, I might as well go, because I have some questions about, because my husband wants to feed the baby sometimes, and so we talked about me pumping and him giving, like, you know, my breast milk to the child in a bottle, and I'm pretty against bottle feeding, like even if there's breast milk inside the bottle. So I'm just really big. I know like a lot about like the importance, the bonding, like the attachment, and the development of the child when they're that close to you. And so yeah, I'm not super keen on the idea, but I'm sure I'll change my mind whenever I haven't slept in days, and you know, I'll want help feeding the baby. But apparently nipple confusion is very rare, even though they say like that's a risk, like with using pacifiers and bottles. But I've heard it's pretty rare. Of course, like I'm sure it does happen. So I'm gonna ask the moms there this morning, like about kind of like how long, if they did introduce a bottle like of breast milk, and how long they waited. Like was it like 2-3 weeks? I feel like if you waited like any longer than 2 or 3 weeks, then they just would not be interested at all in taking a bottle. But I don't know, you know, I've never done it, so I have lots of questions, so I figured I'd, but yeah, I plan on breastfeeding, you know, for a long time. I mean, I'm sure that I'll be able to, because I'll have a lot of support, and I understand that, like, a lot of women want to and can't, but I feel like because I know the importance of it, that like I'll fucking find a way. You know, if I have to work with specialists and I don't know, take supplements and stuff, but it's super important for me that this child will be like exclusively breastfed. So, all right, and that's the last of the questions. So again, thank you, and if you have any more questions, send them to me on Instagram. Okay, bye.